Ken, let me just ask you. Donald Trump says he was talking about Megyn Kelly's nose and her ears. Carly Fiorina didn't seem to buy it. John Kasich, I couldn't really tell what he thought, but I don't think he bought it either, but he didn't say that. What do you think?
You know, I actually think he was just spewing that he didn't much think about it. But you're a candidate for president, you're the front runner. Whenever you're going down that line, it's going to be interpreted in as many different ways as it can be. It was a huge mistake. He ought to admit it was an error, apologize, and try to move on. I don't think you can really move on and set this one behind you. But the other comment that some of the candidates have made is, look, if you're going to whine about how Megyn Kelly treats you, how are you going to deal with Vladimir Putin?
Or before that, Hillary Clinton. So Jeb Bush.
Or Jake Tapper in the next debate. Thank God we're not going to be having this discussion about you, Jake.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So Jeb Bush took on the Donald, and you heard what he had to say, Mr. Trump. He said, he started talking about Jeb Bush's gaffe the other day, talking about, I don't know that we need a $500 million spent on women's health issues. And he started going at Jeb Bush, who you support very strongly. What'd you think of that?
Look, I think it's just the Trump shtick, right? That's what he does. He's now beginning to be incredibly repetitive. To me, it's Groundhog Day. It's a broken record. I'm rich. Lindsey Graham has no polling. Jeb Bush is this, has no energy. I mean, all he does is go after the people running against him and, you know, Trump himself up. I mean, this is the man that is so appropriately named because all he does is blow his own trumpet. And absolutely, we all know what he was talking about when he was referring to Megyn Kelly.
So you don't buy it? You don't buy the news?
I don't buy it, and the reason I don't buy it is because this is not an isolated occurrence from Donald Trump. Everybody should go on the Washington Post and read an article there today about his long, lengthy, years-long record of disparaging women and saying vile, mean things about women, or frankly, anybody that may you know, be somewhat critical of him. This is not a guy that has got a presidential temperament. Period. Close.
You obviously want to see.
But this isn't the end of Donald Trump. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, we were here talking about Donald Trump and John McCain, and is this going to be the end of his campaign? I sit back and laugh at my Republican friends because we've been getting ignorant attacks.
We really appreciate that.
Ignorant attacks against the president from Donald Trump. This is the same man who took a $5 million bounty out on the president's birth certificate because he still believed he was from Africa. So we're sitting back having a good chuckle because he's not doing anything but rising in the polls. He's at 34% in South Carolina, and that's dangerous. That's a problem.
Let me ask you, you used to be Hillary Clinton's campaign manager back in 2008. She has been very, very quiet about Donald Trump, especially over the weekend. It could be a Trump versus Hillary matchup. Is this the right thing for her to do? Just sit back and let the Republican Party destroy itself?
Let him shoot himself. Yeah. Look, he's not going to be the nominee.
Let's hope so. I don't know.
He's not. As much as we would like it, he's not going to be the nominee because he's just made himself unelectable in a general election.
With that comment about Megyn Kelly, or in general?
Here's the deal. For a Republican candidate to win a national election, they have to peel away at that coalition that Barack Obama built in 2008 and maximized in 2012, right? And up until now, their best shot at doing that was with Hispanics and with women. Donald Trump has officially offended Hispanics and all women.
Or as he calls them, the Hispanics.
Right.
Who supposedly love him in his parallel universe.
So what he's done, so what he's done is he's put immigration and a war on women front and center in this election. And guess what? That's at the detriment of Republicans, and that galvanizes the coalition for the nominee on the Democratic Party.
Ken, I'll let you have a last shot, and then I want to move on to another topic.
You know, the reason he's risen isn't, of course, these kinds of comments. It's because he is sort of this conduit for anti-establishment, just anger at the Republican base. But on the Democrat side, that's a big part of Bernie Sanders' rise, is Hillary Clinton is viewed as the concrete cornerstone of the establishment on the Democrat side. And so you see this massive rise over there. Very different person, very different circumstances, but across this country, across parties, they're clearly fed up with the way Washington is doing business, and that candidates are going to do best in both parties who have a demonstrated record of being willing to challenge that kind of leadership.